The SynerVision Leadership Foundation is not only a leadership foundation, but it is a movement guiding the life-changing, life-saving global impact of churches and nonprofit organizations. This is Doug Lawrence for the SynerVision Leadership Foundation, whose work it is to equip churches and nonprofit organizations to move beyond the scarcity mentality, to enhance their existing physical, social, and human capital such that their mission, their impact, is greatly magnified. The work of the SynerVision Leadership Foundation is to empower churches to get people in the pews and then out to the world community, impacting their mission of hope and vitality of life. The work of the SynerVision Leadership Foundation is also to enable nonprofit organizations to get community resources of dollars and people rallied around providing social services for those most in need. The impact with both types of organizations is also to engage people as stakeholders. The problems that exist and make the work of the SynerVision Leadership Foundation so valuable are numerous. Most nonprofit organizations and churches operate from a point of scarcity. The stakeholders are not engaged, the mission is not widely understood or shared, there is general apathy. Leadership is confused with many initiatives that are driven by long-standing committees. In fact, many initiatives get stuck in committees. Perspectives are distorted by a wide interpretation of God's mission or the social mission of the community. Nonprofit donations declined 3.2% in 2009 and are expected to further decline in 2010. Church attendance, participation, and donations are down. Volunteers and employees are frustrated by the lack of clear direction and seemingly underfunded mandates. In the nonprofit and church world, most are focused on mission. Backed by audacious goals, the mission serves to attract board members, funders, employees, and volunteers that are passionate about the mission. But it provides conflicting, deeply etched views about the organization's priorities and how to go about them. One commentator expressed one of the issues in the following manner: nonprofit executive directors are burning out and leaving the sector in alarming numbers. Meanwhile, emerging leaders are thinking twice about stepping into the breach. This is a great shame when we consider the extraordinary vision and values that drew these talented people to our sector in the first place. The opportunity ahead to the Leadership Foundation is that of transformation. First, empowering leaders to build leaders and their organization to engage members, staff, and volunteers so that everyone is engaged, fulfilling the mission. The need for the work of the SynerVision Leadership Foundation is due to the current market drivers, such as corporations are pressured with global competition and reduced earnings capacity, and will be hard-pressed to carry as much of the funding as before. Our federal, state, and local governments are hard-pressed to fund the budgets to deliver needed social services. Our social service agencies are growing, but exist with some overlap and generally take on too much. There are sizable resources from foundations and granting organizations looking for valued, accountable programs of social reform. We are moving rapidly into an aging population base that will need significant assistance. We are a global society, and emerging nations will need assistance. Poverty and resulting social ills will continue to be a significant challenge. Our churches and nonprofit organizations can provide a culture for moral and ethical communities that are the foundation for global peace and cooperative interaction. Most churches and nonprofits confuse leadership with setting doctrine, focus on the mission through their eyes, and aligning the necessary resources to move the rock inches. Further expansion of existing long-standing direction. True leadership is engaging the people and the argumentation in building a collective vision, ownership, execution, and engagement. Peter Drucker comments as follows: "No institution can possibly survive if it needs geniuses or supermen to manage it. it must be organized in such a way as to be able to get along under a leadership composed of average human beings. And from the pen of Max Dupree, the first responsibility of a leader is to define reality. The last is to say thank you. In between, the leader is a servant. But the key success elements of the SynerVision Leadership Foundation are transforming the culture of the organization from scarcity thinking to abundance mindsets, from general apathy to a widely shared enthusiasm, from confusion to clarity on all levels, and from a passive society to an active and engaged membership. The SynerVision Leadership Foundation is engaged in long-term solution mapping for organizations. Imperatives for the work of the SynerVision Leadership Foundation can be quantified in the following ways. Leadership that understands that the power of the organization rests with the collective vision of the people involved. Leadership that clearly understands their role in engaging their stakeholders. Leadership that creates ownership and execution. Leadership that understands engagement through collective vision. Clarity of vision backed by clearly measurable 3 to 5 year objectives built with the parishioners, employees, and boards directed at value creation for all. Narrow the focus of their unique role and do it well. Concentrate limited resources and reduce redundancy, and develop a unique solution from the unique attributes and defined specific solutions for each organization. Demonstrate measurable results with specific results, focused strategies, and making the organization fundable by grantors and sponsors. The unique value proposition of the SynerVision Leadership Foundation is moving from an old paradigm of strategic planning delivered by consultants to creating a unique solution map guided by highly skilled wayfinders. Transformation of the culture from scarcity to abundance, from mediocrity to excellence, and from a culture of driven by a few to a culture of engagement by all. Services are delivered to qualified organizations in an engagement up to 3 years and are provided without fee. Services are provided to organizations with a vision to service in the community. The SynerVision Leadership Foundation Fund provides in-kind services to provide for world-class wayfinders to be available to mission-critical churches and nonprofits, teaching the leaders how to fish, lead their organizations from scarcity to impact. A unique application process to find the best possible impact organizations and fund them through the SynerVision Leadership Foundation is fourfold. First, validation of the applicant organization's alignment, envisioned values, and its viability as an organization. Second, determining the commitment and dedication of the stakeholders to succeed. Third, diagnostic and prescriptive identification of the correct current situation and defining the areas of work ahead. Fourth, to prepare for the journey ahead by seeking a long-term commitment from the organization receiving the in-kind award. The SynerVision Leadership Foundation Wayfinders bring a variety of best practices and a high level of competency to the work of the Foundation in the following areas: focusing strategic planning, leadership and transformation, engagement and teamwork, project management, financial analysis, fund sourcing, grant resources, communication skills, and strategic renewal in celebration. The SynerVision Leadership Foundation solution is to create a unique solution map for each organization, beginning by building on the existing capital, social, financial, human, capacity building for the organization, developing boards or governing organizations that are effective, developing a program of continuing leadership and development, and strategizing development and renewal, resulting in continuous learning and reflection. The SynerVision Leadership Foundation management team begins with its executive management: Hugh Ballou, President and CEO, Samantha Quessenberry, Executive Director, as well as highly skilled Board of Directors consisting of Dr. Larry Dill, Executive Director of the Institute for Clergy Excellence, Andy Morikawa, Executive Director of the Community Foundation of the New River Valley, and Jim Stanley, entrepreneur, successful businessman, Vice President of VII Inc. The advisory board consists of Dr. Wilson LaGuire, Dean, University of Alabama, and expert on online learning, Jeff McGee, publisher of Performance Magazine, author, internationally renowned speaker, and leadership trainer Dr. William Williman, Bishop in the United Methodist Church, speaker, and the author of 60 books on worship and church systems. The list of highly experienced and skillful wayfinders includes the following: Ed Bogle and Harry Lay, strategic planners; Chuck Vollmer, organizational strategist; Tom Jurgensen, attorney and board specialist; Sharita Herring, grant specialist; Doug Lawrence, staff relations specialist and communication specialist; Dr. John Savage, communication specialist and conflict specialist. Competition in the market is almost non-existent. The following organizations offer similar services: Bridgespan Group, EMD Consulting, EHL Consulting. Now, these organizations offer services with a fee, have a limited number of traditional consultants, and have a limited methodology. The SynerVision difference is providing unique value through in-kind services without a fee, providing an extensive network of experts, and offering a variety of best practices. As a startup organization in 2010, the SynerVision Leadership Foundation will have a 3-phase growth process defined in the following ways. Phase 1, develop the foundation monies to build processes and test those processes. Phase 2, to raise the corpus to provide funding to support 40 client projects. Phase 3, develop sustainable income to be a major impact to clients throughout the country on an ongoing basis. This will be done first by developing a solution map for our organization and its operations. Next, by creating channel partners and alliances to provide an ongoing source of referral clients. Defining the clients served and their impact to their communities and the impact of the Leadership Foundation in their work. Developing a strategic focus for client engagement. And finally, defining the offerings of the SynerVision Foundation and developing those offerings. In order to do this work, the SynerVision Leadership Foundation is raising Phase 1 funding of $250,000 to develop the strategy and systems for the foundation, to provide salaries for 2 employees, and to provide an office for the ongoing work of the foundation, and to launch 2 pilot projects, 1 church and 1 nonprofit organization. Phase 2 funding of $2.5 million will come from grants, individual donations, and corporate sponsorships, and will fund client engagement over the next 18 to 36 months. The milestones are to complete Phase 1 funding, $250,000, by the end of quarter 2010, to complete Phase 2 funding of $2.5 million by the final quarter of 2011. Be a part of the SynerVision Leadership Foundation movement by being a donor, or introducing us to a donor, or introducing us to a corporate sponsor. For more information, contact Hugh Ballou at 540-250-2593, 540-250-2593, or email him at hugh@synervisionfoundation.org.